Welcome to an August edition of Lawns Across America. As we get into this one, it's going to be all about seeding the lawn, all of your questions answered. But I want you to know that I also have a free guide that I wrote, 45 pages of detailed information. When to seed, how to seed, why not to seed, and everything in between. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll link it in the description of this video or in the show notes if I can. It's a free download, and it's pretty much everything I'm going over here in this podcast in written form. All right, y'all, welcome back to another podcast, Lawns Across America. This coming to you in early August of 2024. This is going to be a big seeding podcast. Pretty much that time of year, as soon as I've seen this for years now that we've been doing this, August 1st hits and all of a sudden people's minds, this is cool season, folks, of course. Warm season, you got to listen to. There's always something in here for you. I always say that if you're warm or cool season, you should listen to all of these because you can always learn something from the way that other people grow other types of grasses. You'll always learn something that you can apply to yours. But for this one, we're mostly going to be talking to cool season folks whose mindset flips as of August 1st. What happens is you come into the spring and you're all excited, right? I used to call that getting the fire in your belly. You're sitting there in the winter time. Maybe you're in Wisconsin, Minnesota, or where I used to live in Indiana. Super cold and gray all winter. Those gray skies start to wear on you. It's too cold to go outside, and if you do, it's the winds will just whip right through you. And so you sit there, and then you get to spring, and you can see your lawn because you'll get a warm up, and the sun will melt all of the snow, and then you can see your lawn again, and you start to smell the lawn again, and that's when that fire in the belly starts building in the spring. But it's still a little too cold to get out. Nothing's growing yet. Maybe you get out and do a little bit of raking in March. Get to April, now it's time to start throwing down and mowing, and now all of the positives start to come in because in the springtime with cool season grass, you have all of the positives working for you when it comes to the weather. Remember, this is a weather-driven business. The weather always wins. Mark that down. In lawn care, you will never outsmart or beat the weather, and in the spring, the weather is on your side because you have cooler temperatures, which when I say cooler, not too cold, you have those outside air temperatures in the 60s at night, maybe 50s at night, up to 70s during the day. It's perfect in the spring. And you also have rain, and rain is nourishing. Nothing compares to rain. And so you have those things working for you, and that also gets you excited. You're mowing, the lawn is green, it's thick. You fertilize it, it gets greener, it gets thicker, all of these things. Then the weeds come in, and you might have to have a little bit of a challenge spraying weeds, but you do that, and then they're gone, and you get through that, and then you get into like early June. And the lawns are just pristine. You're through the dandelion pop now. You're into nice sunny days. The weather is perfect. Then all of a sudden July hits. You get your first few warm days. You get the humidity coming in. And it's humidity, y'all. Everybody, we talk about heat. But it's really humidity and heat together that are what really harm the growth and the color and the vigor of cool season turf. So now you've been working through July and you've been struggling and you have brown patches that show up and maybe you have some disease or some insects or maybe you just have whatever other things. And then also in July, also in the summer, you have travel sports with your kids and other things going on, vacations that you want to take. And you're trying to fit all these things in during summer vacation. And summer vacation is short now for kids. Used to be, I remember, we used to get out at the very beginning of June. We would get out of school and we wouldn't go back until September. That's how it used to be in Florida. Now I think y'all get out in June and you go back in August. It's weird. Like I don't know why that's changed or if I'm just old and remembering it wrong. But yeah, you're trying to fit a lot of stuff in the summer. So what happens is lawn care for a lot of folks in the cool season realm, it becomes an annoyance to them. The working on the lawn is not fun anymore like it was in the spring. The rewards aren't always there. The struggles become real. And it's very tempting to just let it go. And that's actually okay. It's all right if you don't take care of your lawn in the summer. Just you have to mow it, obviously, mow it every week, but you don't have to go to the extra lengths of doing all the extras. Maybe you don't do all the perfect trimming every time. Maybe you skip the edging. Maybe you're not watering, and so if it goes dormant, it's okay. It's not going to die. That's normal. Raising your kids is more important than lawn care. Although I would tell you that I think the lawn is more important. Just kidding. Obviously, doing things with your family is much more important than the lawn. The great thing is when you can incorporate those two things together. But what'll happen is the lawn is not so much fun anymore. And so now what happens is towards the end of July and in early August, y'all start looking back at the lawn. Kids are going back to school. The weather's going to start to be mild again, which is going to trigger that fire back in your belly again, right? And so you start thinking, the other thing that happens in the fall is you're going to start using the lawn again. I mean, let's face it, a lot of folks, you don't use your lawn that much in July because it's just too hot, right? In August, it's just too hot to utilize the lawn. But you get to fall, now you want to have people coming over for hot apple cider over there. Have some apple ciders in a driveway and check out the lawn while you watch the leaves turning orange and yellow and red. You know what I'm saying? That's that fall feeling that you're going to have. People are out walking and, it's just a whole nother thing. A whole nother season of, hey, let's get back outside and enjoy this because now winter's coming, right? So all of those things make you start to look back at your lawn again and you start to think, well, what can I do here in the fall that I can gain back some of that superiority that I had in the springtime? And one of the things that people think about is seeding. And so that's why we're going to talk a lot about seeding today. Now, let me just say before we get into seeding, if you're somebody that is looking to get back to and by the way, maybe some of you listening, maybe that wasn't that way. Maybe your summer was awesome. I saw some lawns in Michigan, pictures of lawns in Michigan that have been green all year, looking beautiful, and have not had a lot of challenges. And then again, I look at lawns in other parts of the country that have. So everybody's a little bit different, but either way, the fall is another chance for you to get this reset. Chance to get things going. We've talked about before that cool season grass has two growth spurts. There's the spring growth spurt and the fall growth spurt, and they're very, very similar. The main difference is that in the fall, you're going to get a lot more root growth in the lawn rather than top growth, although top growth does speed up, whereas in the spring, it's mostly top growth and some roots. A little bit different that way, but either way, the fall is the time to take advantage of fixing the lawn, and seeding is one of the things that people will do. Now, here's the question. Do you even need to seed?